Taya, by that, Itam, in this manner, Avirata, constant, Purusha, of the Supreme Lord, Paricharyaya, by service, Bhagavati, under the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pravardhamana, constantly, increasing, Anuraga, of attachment, Bhara, by the Lord, Dhruta, melted, Hridaya, heart, Saitilya, laxity, Praharsa Vegena, by the force of transcendental ecstasy, Atmani, in his body, Udvidyamana, Roma, Kulaka Kulaka, standing of the hair on the end, Autkantya, because the intense longing, Pravata, produced, Pranaya Bhaspa, Niruddha Avalokanayana, awakening of tears of love in the eyes, obstructing the vision, Evam, thus, Nijaramana, Aruna Charana Aravinda, on the Lord's reddish lotus feet, Anudhyana, by meditation, Parichita, increase, Bhakti Yogena, by dint of devotional service, Paripruta, spreading everywhere, Parama, highest, Salada, of spiritual bliss, Gambhira, very deep, Hridaya, Hrida, in the heart, is compared to a lake, Avagadha, immense, Dissanaha, whose intelligence, Tam, that, Api, although, Kriyamananam, was executing, Bhagavat, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Saparyam, the worship, no, Sasmara, remember. Translation: the most exalted devotee, Maharaj Bharat, in this way engaged constantly in devotional service of the Lord. Naturally, his love for Vasudeva Krishna increased more and more and melted his heart. Consequently, he gradually lost all attachment for regulative duties. The hairs of his body stood on end and all the ecstatic bodily symptoms were manifest. Tears flowed from his eyes so much so that he could not see anything. Thus he constantly meditated on the reddish lotus feet of the Lord. At that time his heart, which was like a lake, was filled with the water of ecstatic love. When his mind was immersed in that lake, he even forgot the regulative service of the Lord. The most exalted devotee, Maharaj Bharata, in this way, engaged constantly in the devotional service of the Lord. Naturally, love for Vasudeva, Krishna, increased more and more and melted his heart. Consequently, he gradually lost all attachment for regulative duties. The hairs of his body stood on end, and all the ecstatic bodily symptoms were manifest. Tears flowed from his eyes, so much so that he could not see anything. Thus he constantly meditated on the reddish lotus feet of the Lord. At that time, his heart, which was like a lake, filled with the water of ecstatic love. When his mind was immersed in that lake, he even forgot the regulative principle, forgot the regulative service to the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love for Krishna, 8 transcendental blissful symptoms are manifest in the body. Those are the symptoms of perfection arising from loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since Bharat Maharaj was constantly engaged in devotional service, all the symptoms of ecstatic love were manifest in his body. Maharaj Bharat appeared very beautiful. He had a wealth of curly hair on his head, which was wet from bathing 3 times daily. He dressed in a deer skin. He worshipped Lord Narayana, whose body was composed of golden effulgence and who resided within the sun. Maharaj Bharat worshipped Lord Narayana by chanting the hymns given in the Rig Veda, and he recited the following verse as the sun rose. The predominating deity within the sun is Hiranmaya, Lord Narayana. He is worshipped by the Gayatri mantra Om Bhu Swaha Tat Savitor Varanyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. He is also worshipped by other hymns mentioned in the Rig Veda, for instance, Yeha Sada Savitra Mandala Matyavarti. Within the sun, Lord Narayana is situated in his golden hue. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in pure goodness. He illuminates the entire universe and bestows all benediction upon his devotees. The Lord has created this universe from his own spiritual potency according to his desire. The Lord entered this universe as the Super Soul, and by virtue of his different potencies, maintaining all living entities desiring material enjoyment. Let me offer my respectful obeisance unto the Lord, who is the giver of intelligence. The predominating deity of the sun is another expansion of Narayana, who is illuminating the entire universe. The Lord enters the hearts of all living entities, the Super Soul, and He gives them intelligence to fulfill their material desires. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvayuchara Meriti Sanvista. I am sitting in everybody's heart. As the Super Soul, the Lord enters the heart of all living entities, stated in the Brahma Samhita. Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam. He enters the universe and in the atom as well. In the Rig Veda, the predominant deity of the sun is worshipped by this mantra, Gyaha Sada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti Narayana Sarasi Sijasana Sanavistaha. Narayana sits on the lotus flower within the sun. By reciting the mantra, every living entity should take shelter of Narayana just as the sun arises. According to modern scientists, the material world rests on the sun's effulgence. Due to the sunshine, all planets are rotating and vegetables are growing. We also have information that the moonshine helps vegetables and herbs grow. Actually, Narayana within the sun is maintaining the entire universe. Therefore, Narayana should be worshipped by the Gayatri mantra or the Rup mantra. Present the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 5th canto, 7th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Activities of King Bharata. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanam Jnana Sadakaya Chikshudan Militam Yena Tasmai Guruve Tam Satvitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadama Judati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvidam Shavadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Chaitanya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Odisha Odikatanta Radha Kanta Namosute Apta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Javanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuve Pitanam Pamanodyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschati Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much for coming on this Srimad Bhagavatam class. So here we are reading on the spiritual qualities developed by Bharat Maharaj as he made spiritual advancement. So spiritual advancement is not static, that you just chant and you just stay in a, what we say, passive position. The symptoms of one making spiritual advancement is that he develops attraction for the Lord. That we have explained many times. So this is how a person progresses spiritually. Beginning is Adaushada, Tataha Sadhu Sangha, Sangha, Ta Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Binti, Syat, Tato Nista Ruchi, Tata, Ata Shakti, Tato Bhaves, Tata Prema, Vyud Anchati, Sadhakanam Ayam Premnaha, Pradur Bhave Bhavet Kramaha. So this is the stages that a devotee goes through before he comes to this prema stage. In the beginning, there must be faith. This is the first step. The first step is that one has what? Jai Shri Radha. So how do you develop faith? How do one develop faith?
Spiritual piety.
Hmm?
Spiritual piety.
By spiritual?
Piety.
I cannot hear.
Spiritual piety. Yeah.
Piety, oh, spiritual piety. Faith is linked with piety. How do you get this faith? It goes together with this hearing. Initially, you have to associate with the devotees. Because without association, spiritual life cannot take place. Right? The sum and substance of spiritual life is association. Right? And by associating, then hearing, then your doubts are. So the more and more your doubts are clear, then your faith is strengthened. Is it not? Huh? Is it not? Huh? So when the faith is strengthened by hearing and associating, that's why these three things, they come together. Beginning there must be faith, and one must be interested in associating pure devotee. So this goes together. Faith grows when you associate with, and of course you have to have this, say, beginning there must be faith, that one has got some, as he said also, piety to associate with the. So if you don't have that submissive mood to associate and surrender, then very difficult to develop this faith. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, beginning, what is that? Three, how you approach a spiritual master. Pari prasnena, pari patena, pranipatena. Pranipatena means surrender. So faith goes together with surrender. If you're not surrendering, then how you will develop faith? Correct? You cannot go on a challenging mood. Of course, you may have that, but unless you are willing to submissively hear, their faith cannot. Yes. In the CC, there's a word that speaks about this faith. You know where that? So here you can see this is not the word, no. Not this verse, no. Not this verse. Faith is classified. Not this verse. Huh? Was that 22? 62. Siddha, Sabde.
Dāsa.
So here you see classification of faith. Siddha Sabde Visvasa Kahe Sudirta Nishchaya. Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Kritahaya. This is the faith. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. So this is the classification of that if I take to Krishna consciousness, everything is subsequently included. Not sometimes they, oh no, you are just right, no, you are doing service to Krishna, but you also have to take care of your material activities. They say like that.
It's concept.
Huh?
It's got everything like it.
Yeah.
You have more work right now.
You must have two legs. No?
Yeah.
But this philosophy is not substantiated here. That by taking to Krishna consciousness, everything becomes included. And that's the faith, that I surrender and everything will be, Krishna will take care. Of course, you may think there's a blind faith, but that's actually the fact. It is blind faith. That I have complete faith that Krishna will, That's why the yogis, when they go to the forest, they are going there and there's so many wild animals and snakes and whatnot. So they are going in with the faith that Krishna is in my heart and he will protect me. See, that is also faith. So faith must be there. Without faith, then nothing. Just like you, materially also you are doing so many things. That is also faith. Yes, you are going to your work faithfully, doing work, and you know the end of the month he will give you salary. That's also faith, is it not? How you know that the end of the month he will not give you salary? So that is also faith, but that's more blind. You understand? So in order to strengthen that faith, because firstly you don't know God, you don't know He exists. All you have to do is you are hearing. Yes? Correct? So how to be assured on that? So you must hear from somebody who has seen God. Common sense. If you go to somebody who has not seen God, a conditioned soul, then your faith will be question mark. Huh? As I quoted, that verse 6:16, a conditioned soul cannot. I showed that verse on Friday. Uh, 6:16, what is that? 24, I think. 24. What is that? 6:16? Come on. A conditioned soul cannot approach the Lord.
21.
21. Huh? So you see here, this is a very important verse. The words and mind of the conditioned soul cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Huh? See this point here? A conditioned soul cannot. So if you go and take shelter of a conditioned soul, then how you will also have doubts? Yes? So you must go to somebody who has Krishna. Right? That's why the process of initiation, Vasudev, when he was, the Lord was, when Devaki was going to receive the Lord, so he was first manifest in the heart of Vasudeva. And then it was transferred into the heart of Devaki. The Prabhupada writes in the purport that this is the process of initiation. That the person have Krishna, then he can initiate you into that Krishna consciousness. That's why you must go to a pure devotee to gather this faith. If you go to any conditioned soul, you cannot get this faith. It's not possible. Because you're not sure, he's not sure, everybody's not sure. Then how are you going to assure? Doesn't make any common sense, does it? Correct? So therefore it is said that Krishna also said the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita, that you must approach a self-realized soul. And the self-realized soul is qualified by Krishna also. It's not that he's self-realized. He is what? He knows. Huh? And not only knows, he actually sees. You see, 6:29, I think, Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? Two verses. So you see here in this verse, Sarvabhutastam Atmanam, Sarvabhutani Jatmani, Ikshate. Ikshate means see. Yoga Yuktatma, Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. See, that means he is not just, he, actually he just here, no. The word ikshate means what? Can see the translation. Does see. Ikshate means what? See. Eh? A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. In other words, you have to go to a person who is seeing God. Is it? Otherwise, how he can instill faith in you? How do you know God exists? You will ask this question. And how you can say, if I have not seen God, how can I say? Many times Prabhupada was challenged with this question. Are you seeing God? Prabhupada said yes. Did he say no? Yeah. Like us, you ask, no, but you know, you have to go to the deity, you see the deity. You will say, but for a person who is actually seeing God, he says, yes, I'm seeing. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. This verse is quoted here in this purport, correct? Yes? Right? That's the point. The devotional service must bring you to this point, and you must go, if you are not in that, you must go to someone who has that. Uh, that's why a conditioned soul cannot become a guru. It's not possible. This is the nonsense going on. So in order to substantiate that, they say, no, you must have a living guru. This is nonsense. You have to go to a guru who is self-realized, not that he's living or dead or partially alive, whatever, or paralyzed. Nowadays, there are many gurus who are paralyzed. You understand? Huh? You have to go to a self-realized, and the self-realized soul is qualified here. You understand? He is one. Huh? Is confidently seeing the Lord. Is what? This is another important word. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mahi pashyati. Pashyati means what? Huh? Pashyati means what? See. Pashyati. Sanskrit. Pashyati means what? Seeing. Sarvam cha mahi pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami. Sa cha me na pranashyati. This is how he is confident. How is he confident? Because he's seeing. He sees what? God everywhere and everything in God. Yes, because everything belongs to God. Nothing can exist without God. Right? So for him, everywhere is God consciousness. That's why that vision of a pure devotee is that what? He sees the Lord everywhere and he sees everything is belonging to the Lord. So he sees the hand, he's never lost. How you can be lost if you're always with God? You understand this point? So I'm just talking about this word faith, I have to qualify this word faith, before I go on to the other thing. You follow now. And therefore, this system of surrendering to a conditioned soul, because as Prabhupada said, he cannot guide you because of insufficient realization. Of course, Prabhupada said knowledge, but this is realization. You understand? I'm sure I had a talk with one Muslim gentleman in the taxi. Right? So he trying to ridicule us. Oh, your system is bogus. Because in that conversation he got baffled because I was putting on my point, couldn't answer. So my point was this, that this is the country where God personally came. God walked here. But in your system you don't know who's God. So why I should go to a system where you don't know? I have to go to a thing where I know. You understand? See, this is another thing. That faith is assured because the Lord personally comes. And that's where you need faith, no? Krishna came. He really came. Yeah, he did pastime. You follow? That's why the Lord, he comes to do these pastimes to what? Paritnaya sadhunam, vinasaya cha duskrit. Paritnaya sadhunam means what? To instill faith. To instill faith. You understand? So you have to go holy places, you see all the places, pastime. Why you have to see this pastime to the Lord? Because that instills faith. Oh, Krishna did this. Oh, he lifted up Govardhan. Govardhan hill is here. They're not bluffing. You understand? So that all these activities to reassure us. Because devotional service, not that today and tomorrow you become Bharat Maharaj, Tears start flowing and rolling on the floor in ecstasy. Maybe you are, I don't know. But for me, 50 years on the line, I don't know my hair is still standing or not. You understand? So because it is a process of years, so it has to, you have to get assurance. Right? That's why Krishna says constant hearing. What is that? What is the verse you chant in the morning? Nityam. What is that? Beginning line? Nasta priyeshu abhadreshu nityam. Nityam means what? Constantly. So when we serve the Lord constantly in our regulative devotional service, then yes, you progress. Then faith increases. You understand how the faith increases? You get Krishna is in the heart. Krishna says, as you surrender, I reward accordingly. Because he is in the heart and is reciprocating his word. Ah. Otherwise, how faith get assured? Eh? In the process of chanting and hearing, we are developing our attraction for the Lord. Because the holy name and the Lord are not different. So today you're chanting. Sometimes you're chanting and you feel so good chanting. How that goodness comes? Because the Lord is reciprocating. Or you figured out how to chant good. No. It is a what? A process where the Lord reciprocates. And that instills faith. So faith goes, as faith goes. And it must grow with hearing. Must go with, and hearing means associating. Hearing means from where? Cinema, radio. Hearing means what? From a realized soul. So when we associate, then our faith. That's why Prahlad Maharaj said in that verse, 7:10, I think 3. 7:10:3. See here, you can see here in this verse, it's very important. I think it is this verse, sure. Yeah, this is the, oh my worshipful Lord, because the seed of lusty desire, which is the root cause of material existence within the core of everyone's heart, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptom of purity. This is the point. That faith can increase when we associate with the pure devotees. You understand this point? Huh? Faith cannot increase by associating with the conditioned soul. Not possible. Yeah? That's why you see like a pure devotee, like what they think, or living. No faith in hearing. Everybody left. So you see how relevant this is. That's why it says here, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptom of a pure devotee. Why we need the symptom of pure devotee? Why we need the association of pure devotee? And only pure devotee can instill that faith. As I already showed, conditioned soul cannot. Huh? You understand? This association is so important. And in fact, the whole subject of spiritual life cannot work without association. Without association, it cannot work. And a pure devotee, you see, Krishna says again in this point, that in order to help the conditioned soul, Krishna has given the Veda and Purana. Jivera Kripai Koila Krishna Veda Purana. So why is the Veda Puran given to us? Huh? The point to strengthen our faith, we need the Veda and Puran. And Veda and Puran you cannot understand by your own. Although Krishna has given this Veda and Puran, but you cannot understand Veda and Puran. You understand? You cannot simply buy all the Vedas and become a realized soul. It is not possible. Okay? The process is that you must hear the Veda and Puran through the lips of a pure devotee. A Vaishnav Mukat Girnam, you cannot hear from a non-devotee. You must hear from a pure devotee. So why you must be hearing from a pure devotee? Because the secrets of the Vedas it's hidden in the heart of the pure devotee. You know that verse? That? It's from the Mahabharata. Dharmasya tattvam nihita guhayam mahajanayena sagata panta. Tarka nabis tarka, the beginning word is tarka. Tarka means what? Argument. Argument will not help you. Not this, not that, niti, all these things. Speculation. All the dry words of the sadhus, always having there, because the muni means what? He must speculate. So that is also not conclusive. What is that? What? Huh?
Yeah, 17 months. 17 months. Madhya. 17 months.
This was
Yeah, that's okay.
17.
186.
186 Madhya verse. This went to Bhagavad Gita.
1-8.
186. 186.
1-8.
6.
186.
186.
So you see here in this verse, Tarko. Tarko pratistaha shrutayo vibinam nasva rishiyasya matam nabinam dharmasya tattvam nihita guhayam mahajanayena gata sapanta. So although the Vedas and Purans are available, you cannot just go buy this book and expect to be a realized soul. It doesn't work like that. It's not possible. Why? Because the secret, here is the last two lines. Dharmasya tattvam nihita guhayam. It is hidden in the heart. Whose heart is it hidden? Mahajana yena gata sapanta. That's why you must go to the pure devotees. Because realized soul, they understand. Why they understand? Because they are, as I already qualified, their position as seeing Krishna, being with Krishna. Right? That's why you need to go to a pure devotee. So here Bharat Maharaj is exhibiting symptoms of his spiritual what? Maturity. Understand? So that is a symptom of a person who constantly meditates, as the verse says, is Charana, Aravinda. Aruna Charanara Vinda. Aruna means what color? Like the sun. No? Aruna means red. Is it? So he is constantly meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. So by constantly meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, he developed all these aesthetic symptoms. See, and this cannot come about if you do not associate with the devotee. You understand this point? Huh? So by associating and when you associate with a devotee, uh, the next line, Adav Shraddha Sadhu Sangha. This Sadhu Sangha means that you get connected, initiation. You understand this? And this program of getting connected, initiation, nullifies all or purifies one from all sinful activities. Because sinful activities does not qualify you to approach the Lord. Sinful activity means what? Illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. All this classifies lust, anger, greed. So all these impurities had been in our heart since time immemorial. So because we have this, as now the words I read, because of lusty desire, correct? So the living entity cannot approach the Lord. So somebody has to clean that up. You understand? So you see the process, the transcendental process is that when you associate with the pure devotee, by associating with him and getting connected through him, one is rid of all sinful activities. All sinful activities. For not one life, millions of lives, all gone. And apart from getting you purified, he is injecting transcendental knowledge. You see, the two things happen when you associate with the pure devotee. One, you get connected by initiation, and initiation is the process whereby you are rid of all your karma. You understand this? Huh? But then you may ask, Prabhu, if that is the case, I got initiated, I am free from karma, but why I am still having so many problems? What is the answer for that? Although you are free from all reaction, so because we have some attraction for Maya still, so Krishna creates some karma-like situation. So by practicing this bhajana kriya, by practicing, even that will eventually be anartha nivritti, and that will also become cleaned out. That also will become. Then yes, you will develop first thing, what? Fixation. Every day, every day, every day. Not that you today do, tomorrow sleep, like this. No? You become what? Fixed. Symptom of advancement. And when you are fixed up, then you develop what? The taste. You want to chant, voluntarily you want to take up the process. So this is all classified by faith, the faith increases, as the faith increases, all these symptoms will manifest. And the more and more your faith goes, then your attraction, now you're seeing the Lord. But when you become more advanced, you're very attracted to seeing the Lord. Just like what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also saw. I also went to Jagannath Puri, I didn't faint and I didn't get, I saw the Lord. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw, he fainted. What's the difference? Why he fainted and I didn't faint? Huh? The faith. You understand? He, of course, he was seeing God. Different. I was seeing the deity. I was not seeing. Not different. I don't say. But because of my faith, right? It's different. You understand? So as the faith grows, A person is what? He sees non-different. He doesn't see Krishna here and Krishna everywhere different. No, he sees. Whereas neophyte only see the Lord in the temple only. You see only the deity you will bow down. Other place all you won't care. You don't care because he's not seeing the Lord in everything. Whereas a pure devotee sees him here, sees everywhere. That's a big difference. You understand this point? So the faith has to grow. And that can only grow by steadily doing our devotional program. As he says here, Bharat Maharaj, as he was regularizing his, then he forgot about the regulative principle. Why? Because he's totally absorbed in the law. Once you become so absorbed, you sometimes space out, But they are spacing out in a different way because they're totally absorbed you know, in their service to the Lord. So devotional service spontaneously grows to that level where a person just, relates the Lord in spontaneity, no more on regulation. So that is a very high level. And that's what Bharat Maharaj is. So when we read these things and we do our devotional service, it gives us an impetus to what? Become steady. Oh, yes, it's simple. You follow. That's why hearing and associating is very, very important. If a person cuts off that association, then spiritually he stagnates. He does not grow. The association of devotee is very important to increase that faith. That's why I showed you this now, the word that what is named Prahlad Maharaj, a pure devotee, is saying is sent down. And similarly, we are fortunate we have Prabhupada. Yes? So, by associating with him, our attraction for Krishna what? Awakens. For example, hearing a pure devotee chant. I mean, you are chanting, I am chanting, everyone is chanting. But when you hear pure devotee chant, that purifies our heart. See? You see the difference? That's a pure devotee. So therefore, that association instills that faith in us greatly. That's why it is a regulative principle that you must uh, associate with a pure devotee. Association with someone who is not advanced is forbidden. I think I showed so many verses. Why it is forbidden? Because you will not grow spiritually. So a pure devotee is not only so pure, but he is also revealing the scriptures to you. When he explains something, he is always what? Showing you what? References. Then that instills your faith because you are hearing the words of God. You understand? All of them are systematically in line. And you cannot try to do one without the other. It's like what? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya means what? Hearing the Bhagavatam and associating with the Bhagavatam. The two things. It's not that you just only hear the Bhagavatam and forget about, or not that you only associate and you don't, these two things are like two parallel tracks. They complement each other. Okay? So because to instill the faith, then he has to show you Krishna. How he can show you Krishna? Unless he show you the word of Krishna. Yeah, that's why Vyasadeva was feeling despondent because he didn't really describe fully the qualities of Krishna. And that's why his spiritual master Narada Muni told him to write the Bhagavatam. Right? Why? Because by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, the activities of the Lord, that gives us a lot of And of course, you must hear from a pure devotee, otherwise it doesn't work. A Vaishnava Mukhat, it doesn't work. In fact, it becomes like poison if you hear from some non-Vaishnava person. Whatever spiritual enthusiasm you have, it also will become dampened. So therefore, it is very important we hear from the proper. That's why we always say, I mean, my course of preaching, many people say they have Bhagavad Gita and all that, but when we explain, they say, oh, how come I don't see all this in my Gita? I see your same Gita. The only thing is because your Gita is you reading from not the parampara. So this is why it's here, Mahajana Yena Gata Sapantaha. Very, very important. If we are not connected to the parampara, then even this same book, it will become very Vasudeve Katha Ruchi. Now to get to hear about Vasudev Katha Ruchi, you need to associate with or serve the pure devotees who are free from all vices. I mean, you cannot serve a conditioned soul. You have to serve a. You understand? Then you come to the higher level. Then yes, everything will come manifest one after the other, standing on the head, crying and tears and all the 8 symptoms. It is not that it is not going to manifest. It will manifest in due course of time. It is inevitable. Right? Then you understand things more clearly. Everything becomes, and your faith also will increase. Because if the Lord is manifesting in your heart, then what more to say? Huh? Anything more? You have the Lord, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochana. What's the problem then? Correct? And is it your position is assured and love of Lord well developed, and you're going home back to. There's no other thing about it. It is not some kind of a phantasmagoria and we all are a cult. We are Hare Krishna people and we all are having some, weird philosophy. And, no, this is a factual thing. The factual thing means what? You actually come to the point of seeing God. That's why Prabhupada many times in his classes, you come to the point of seeing God. But it's a process. And the process has to be adhered to. You understand? We are not here practicing something weird, No. Because God is in your heart, is in everybody's heart. Yes, that is first theory. God is in my heart and God is in everybody's heart. So that is one theory. But practical, you have to realize Him in the heart. And how to do that? Start with deity worship. Very important. Deity worship leads you to realize an attraction for Him, and then yes, He manifests. So these are all the procedures that how you make spiritual advancement. Is it clear? Huh? Right? So you all have become realized souls now? At least you realize the method. Yes, this is the process. So you by and by take up the process and chant Krishna. Very late. Not that you won't, because you are very dear to him and he becomes dear to you. Yes. And Krishna is very kind. Even you do a little thing, he takes it as a very big service. You understand? All right. Any questions? Of course, you always have no question, that I understand also. My explanation must be too good that you have no questions. Yes?
The process say that according to faith, one is classified as one.
Yes, accordingly. According to your faith, your neophyte, your madhyama, and the symptoms are also there. That is according to the faith. Again, your faith is very shallow, neophyte, then That the disadvantage is that you may eventually what? Fall down. So it's dangerous to be a neophyte. At least you must come to the second class platform. The second class platform is qualified as worshipping the Lord, having association with the devotees, helping those people who are innocent, preaching to them, and staying away from those people who are envious. This is a symptom of course, a pure devotee, he sees God everywhere. You see everything in God. That is a different level. So anyone who is at least in the first or the second, at least in second, they will not fall down. But one who is in the neophyte level, he will fall down. It's dangerous. Faith is not very strong. So it's very important to understand this classification. Yes? How to come to the second class platform? This is a question. How? How to?
Practice.
Huh?
Practice. Big practice.
Second class platform means a preacher, Anyone who is a preacher, preaching, then is second class. You're not preaching, then you understand? In fact, the preaching position is so very much inspiring that the first class devotee also comes down to the second class platform because preaching gives you a lot of what? Enthusiasm. Talking about Krishna, explaining about Krishna. Right? This is a science. So how to become a preacher? You got to be trained by another preacher. That's why their book fairs and everything are there. Why? Why you are sent to the book fair and everything? Why? Yeah, trained to preach. And someone comes here, you immediately go talk to them. Yes, preaching. So you should be enthusiastic in that. And if you he will not listen, Prabhu. No point talking to them. No, I tried so many times. Huh? So this is a symptom of a person who's a neophyte. Understand? A neophyte will not want to preach. Negative. Yeah? No, I already know he will not listen. Huh? Without even trying. Understand? When you ask him to do some preaching, Prabhu, I tried, Prabhu, nobody listened. Yeah? How's that? That means neophyte. Correct? If nobody listening means something wrong with your talking. What are you talking? Then nobody listen. Yes? No, I'm a very good preacher. No, you please come with me. Then nobody will listen. If you simply tell them humbly, come to the temple, take darshan, take prasad. Why you must come? What is the reason? For that, some realization must be there. Correct? If you don't preach, then everything is finished. Everything is what? Prabhupada said, if you don't preach, then only ringing bells. Ringing? Prabhupada used the word belling. Huh? Then everything is finished. And you become a Hindu society. You change the name. International Hindu Society. Understand? And then what? Saraswati Puja, Lakshmi Puja, Navaratri. Hello. very important. These all are Hindu festivals, Prabhu. They are so important. Yes? Huh? You understand? This is how you go. Why you go into this level? Because you're not preaching. Idea of preaching is to elevate someone. And if you don't preach, you will degrade them. You cannot beat them, you'll join them. You understand? Why nobody coming to your temple? Because we don't have Navaratri. Oh, no Navaratri. We will do also now. Huh? You understand? This is how, in fact, ISKCON is going in that direction. Saraswati Puja and Navaratri Puja and what? Mahalakshmi. Ganesh Puja. Yes. Because no preaching. Why no preaching? Because no reading. Huh? So, your whole idea is to please the masses. Instead of pleasing God and Guru, you want to please who? The masses. So when you preach the masses, then what they will say? Hey, Prabhu, the Sai Baba must put also, no? Sai Baba, yeah, Prabhu, everybody putting, we also must. Huh? Understand? I've seen, I've gone to all these houses. I mean, coming back after 3 months of preaching. It is all confusion. Will a Muslim guy keep one Hindu fellow in his altar? Huh? Will he do that? Well, you Hindus will give a Muslim guy in the altar. Can you imagine this? Huh? Wearing Muslim dress, lungi. Huh? Yes? Can you imagine all this coming from because of what? Lack of faith. Not associating with advanced devotees. Advanced devotees are not rubber stamped. Eh? They are advanced because they know I have explained, they have seeing God. Then yes, faith will be instilled. Otherwise, tomorrow, Saraswati Puja. Huh? Prabhu, all children going to school, they must study hard. So we will do one Saraswati Puja. Bring all your school books. I remember when I was a kid, I would carry all my school book to the altar. I said, why? Because it's Saraswati Puja. Huh? Yes? See how the whole thing. Correct? Because there's no preaching. And how no preaching? Eating and sleeping. Therefore you don't read. You don't read. Right? Correct? So we will go down. Doesn't mean that if you don't preach mean you will stay okay. No. Because if you don't preach, then you will what? Go down, fall down. You understand? Why you have to preach? Because Krishna will be pleased with you. When you preach, Krishna is what? Pleased with you. You see, in the Bhagavad Gita, he said in the 12th chapter, those who are friendly with this and those who are, no, not so many things he said, are very dear to me. But lastly, in the end, he said, those who preach, they are very dear to me. So what he say, the end is more important than what the other thing. Correct? So when you preach, then you are becoming very dear to the Lord. So when you become very dear to the Lord, then the Lord is saying, one who sees me in everything is never lost. He never lost means what? No fall down. He's always protected. Kaunteya pratijane Mahabhakta Pranashati. You understand? This Mahabhakta means what? The one who is a devotee. Devotee means what? Preacher. You follow? So this preaching thing is unique. Very unique in that's why we are called what? Gostyanandi. Gostyanandi means what? Preaching. spending. Right? I can see now I'm coming back here. I'm getting bored here already. I'm just here for how many days and I'm really bored here already. Because I want to go preach. I find that preaching was giving me so much strength and energy. 3 months in India, I was busy every day, something, somebody, some. I come here, I'm locked in my room. Nobody even come to see me. Also. No, don't go to Prabhu. No, he will shout at you. Finish. You understand? So no interaction, no nothing. I'm getting bored. I don't know why I want to stay in Singapore. I better go. Boy. Hey, what?
Indian citizenship. Indian citizenship.
I don't know what you're saying.
Indian citizenship.
Indian?
Citizenship. Indian citizenship.
No, I will take the universal citizenship. Why India? Right? India don't want to give me anything. Anyway. So I think this is the mood, you know. We need to preach, then we'll become inspired. Otherwise, no fire. No? Prabhupada himself, you know, there's nobody, no interview, you will call somebody and you will just talk to him. Why? Preaching is dynamism. All right, any other thing to add? We'll stop here otherwise. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Om Premanandi. No, we have to for some question.
Giving
And Srimad